You cut out for a second there. That's why I was.
Oh well.
Yeah.
I think
Hi.
we're still trying to. We're still trying to get the timings of these lives, the starting of them.
Yeah.
Hello, viewers. Welcome to the Website 101 podcast, Lunch Bytes. Yay! On the first and third Wednesday of every month, we just do a little live to check in with each other and see what's up and talk about random stuff. So, hi, Mike.
right.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you, Meta? I'm actually not that well. I said that sort of like as a conditioned response, but I'm kind
So very Canadian of you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm all right. I've been worse, but I've been much better before. So,
I'm sorry to hear you're under the weather.
thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm on an upward spiral.
Oh, good. Upward
Yeah.
spiral. Wow. Cool.
Well, I mean, so often it's like a downward spiral and things just get worse and worse and worse, but
Yes.
everything's coming up Manda. So
Nice. That's good.
I'm,
glad to hear that.
yeah, I'm glad to be able to say it finally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what's new in your life and career? Oh, by the way, Sean's not here. Maybe we should.
Sean's not here. I know, right?
We don't know where he is, actually. but
It
he
should be
might
pretty obvious because there is only two of us instead of three of us, but
Right. Yeah.
yes. Sean is not here. He's not on Slack. He's not replying to text messages.
He'll join in.
Sean, I hope that you're not stuck in a well somewhere.
Yeah.
I think that's
Okay.
that's the best. That's the best I can hope for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's new? What's going on with you?
So I am at the end of the semester, end of the winter semester. So there's final assignments and there's marking. Yes, a big huzzah. I don't think students realize it, but oftentimes teachers are just as excited for the semester to be over. And then a couple weeks to take a breath, and then it all starts again.
Yeah. Couple
Yep.
weeks. That's all.
Yeah,
you get.
that's all I get. And then, so yeah, the summer semester starts, I think it's the second week of May.
Now, do you find that the summer semester or the summer teaching is better or worse than the regular year of teaching? Is there a difference between like
no.
motivation of the students and stuff like that?
Oh, well, obviously students are just going to fuck off more in the summer, but then they also
That's
don't
exactly
bother.
right, yeah.
They also don't bother coming in at all if there's like inclement weather, like in the smallest, most minor amount. So we're trying to figure out a way to entice the students to actually come onto campus more. I say this constantly all the time. If anything can be taught online, it would be web development. But
Yeah.
this, dear student, this is your college experience. So do you want to pay the school to like sit by yourself in your room? Or do you want to come to campus and network and interact with other students and learn those soft skills that are also very important that they just, this it's post-COVID world is.
I was just gonna say, I think the pandemic screwed everything up for a lot of people. Like, they don't know anything about. They don't know how to interact with other human beings and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely not to the same level as before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. So that's sorry.
Sorry, I was just gonna say. Speaking of peripherally, what we're talking about, not exactly, but when I mentioned I'm under the weather. Went to the clinic the other day, the doctor walk-in clinic, and it seems like everywhere I go, I'm constantly reminded that in another life, I would love to be a UX guy, a user experience design guy. I mean, I kind of do that in my job, like for websites and whatever, but just in everyday life, there's all kinds of things that I encounter that make me want to always complain about why couldn't this be done in this way? Now, let me give you a quick summary.
Give me a
here.
specific example. I'm very excited.
Yeah. Now, by the way, I really appreciate the healthcare system we have here, and I could walk into a clinic and pay $0 and get looked at by a trained doctor and medicine and all the rest of it and just walk out. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So for that aside, So there's obviously a little waiting room with all these chairs, but you have to check in before you get there. And there's like a desk with these two people saying, hey, can I help you? What are you here for? All that. Mm-hmm. So first of all, you walk in and there's like a snaky kind of lineup that you're being told to go through. There's a sign on the floor that says wait here, stand here.
Like Disney World, where you have to go
but
back and forth.
It's really not designed all that well. Like there's one here and then there's one over there facing this direction. And it seems like it was built by someone who saw a line that existed and just put things where the people were, not thinking that when the people aren't there, that is a little confusing when you're just walking in and you're the only person. And I saw this happen. There were people coming in while I was waiting, and they'd look at these signs and kind of go, oh, what? And look and grab a mask. And it was very confusing. And then they get to the front, and there's two people there that are like receptionists, I guess. One of them has a headset on, like a Madonna mic for her, like a headset phone. She's talking on the phone for people who phone in. This guy goes up, and the lady at the desk says, she's looking right at him. She goes, hi, can I help you? And he walks up to the desk, and he starts going, yeah, I hurt my knee the other day, and he's going on about all this thing.
Yeah.
And then after like 2 minutes, the lady says, I'm not helping you yet, sir. And it turns out she was talking to the person on her phone, but she was staring right at him.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, and he had to go back into the line.
And then if there's anyone behind you, everyone's got to shift backwards.
Oh,
yeah.
So
like
stupid.
if,
I was like,
yeah.
I don't know what the solution would be. Like I was going in my head, like have a sign.
You just turn a little bit to the side so that you're not making eye contact with the person.
Yes. I thought the same thing, but then I imagined myself having this conversation, and I imagined people saying, well, I'm looking at my computer screen as well. It's like right under the window, right? So that if they turned away, they can't see their computer. So I guess that if they move the computer this way, but then when they're waiting on this person, they're constantly doing this. So it's not a definite fix, but there's got to be an easier way than just staring at a person, but you're actually talking to the person on the phone. Anyway.
No, I know. Well, and that's, so I'm sure you've seen the videos of the Apple Vision Pro.
Yeah.
So what they've decided to do to get around that was, so for anyone who doesn't know, the Apple Vision Pro are like these kind of like ski goggle looking things that you can wear, but it's like all like augmented reality inside and virtual reality inside and things like that. But what they've done is they've made it so that if the person wearing the Apple Vision Pro is to themselves in like watching a movie or in like a completely immersive virtual reality, it's like they kind of like gray it out from the outside. So you looking at me, it would just be grayed out. But if I am in an augmented reality situation where I can actually be looking around at the environment and I might be in a position to like interact with other people who are standing there, the cameras that are inside the goggles actually also project my eyes on the outside of the goggles so that other people can see that it's like, oh, I'm looking at you. Okay, now I'm looking over here at you, and I am actually able to like interact. Which is kind of an interesting way around it, but in like all of the videos that I've seen, these like my eyes that are on the outside, it's very uncanny valley. It's really, it's like they're a little too big, a little too anime, a little too, it's weird.
And if you turn your eye like that, I don't know.
Well, they can't.
The fact that they're closer to you, like, I don't know. It seems weird. It seems
but there's cameras all inside the goggles. They can like actually track where your eyes are looking, so they can display on the outside where your eyes are looking.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. I'm just imagining like the distance. Does it look like the eyes are closer, are farther away from the person's face, or does it look like they're in the thing? I guess you don't hold the thing, so you don't.
I don't know. I'd have to like go back and look at it again, but it was like they kind of look sparkly, and it was just all very kind of weird.
Yeah. I'm on record as saying those things will never take off until they can make them into a stylish pair of glasses that
Well,
don't look
Google
ridiculous when you have them.
Google had some that didn't look ridiculous, and it failed
Did they call them
hard.
glass holes or something, those people?
No, I think it was just Google Glass.
Yeah, I know, but the people that wore them, they called them glass hole. You're a glass hole.
Oh, the glass. Yeah, the derogatory term.
Yeah,
No, you're
because
right.
they looked, didn't they have like a, I don't know. I seem to remember them looking kind of goofy, but
I mean, they looked a little goofy, but not like you're walking around wearing ski goggles.
yes,
Like it was,
right.
it was a big disconnect there.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so I'm a little bit excited because next week is FITC, which is like another. It's an in-person conference. Hey, everybody, come to this location, West Queen West, which I'm kind of excited about. And Mike, you and I have previously gone to another FITC conference in the city. And a couple weeks ago, my partner, Andrew, got to go to Adobe Summit that was in Las Vegas. And so as a family, we went with him for the weekend before it started. And then I brought my kid home on Monday when the conference started. But it's like, again, speaking about this like sort of post-COVID life, it's interesting seeing these conferences starting to open up again and being in person, and they're really trying to get topics that are going to draw people out and be interested in them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. I really wish I was going to that. I'm not. Whatever. Those things are kind of pricey, so I kind of pick and choose.
They
But
are.
It definitely looks like a. Maybe should I try to share my screen here? Is that going to be a thing?
You can share your screen, yeah. It's a box with an arrow pointing up.
Thank you. Okay, so they got this weird. We were talking about this earlier. This strange snaky graphic.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the deal is there. Why they?
You know what? My guess is that it's just to show off a little bit of animation.
That's what I figured. Someone made it. Hey, let's have a cool, realistic-looking snake climbing over some glass or whatever. Anyway,
My guess as well.
it's got some cool. Yeah, it's a decent site though. It looks pretty spiffy. Mm-hmm. I don't know many of these speakers.
I don't know any of the speakers.
Yeah, Chris Blackwood, Lauren Holm.
And even
I feel
a lot of the
Mario
times,
Klingman, I kind of know maybe, but
a lot of the times when they even tell you like what company the speakers are from, I don't think I've heard of half the companies either.
yeah. Well, I noticed the talks. If I can, how do we get to the talks?
If you go to, is there a schedule link?
Sessions. Yeah, there's a lot of AI related. Oh, it's not. Doesn't seem to be working on the. Can you see this? What are you seeing right now?
I see it says in-person event, online event, like
Oh,
two
yeah. Well, I've
boxes
clicked
with
through
the
there.
snake
I'm gonna
behind
stop
it.
sharing because it's not
Oh.
working. But I've clicked through that page already. But anyway.
Well, here,
Yeah,
look, I'll share mine because I'm
okay, go
already
for it.
on the page.
The talks. There's a lot of AI focused talks, which I think is really cool. But I guess maybe it's the speakers are coming from companies that focus on that stuff, and maybe that's why they're not terribly well known by plebes like us just yet.
Maybe. So the schedule is one of the things that I do have a little bit. I'm not going to go so far as to say I have issue with it, but a lot of this FITC in particular, they seem to be leaning more towards design. A lot of the presentations are about design, and they're about artificial intelligence, and they're about topics that I maybe am not necessarily like deeply into, but I still think it'll be interesting. So like, blending physical and digital. Like, yes, and you can click through and get more of details about them, but reflections on the creative process. Yeah, it seems to be a lot of more generative AI with AI, of course. Like decode your life purpose the easy way with AI. So I mean, it's just a lot of it seems to be more cerebral, if I could say that. Like there doesn't seem to be any talks or any discussions about writing like code. Oh, hey, Sean.
Yeah, I got your message, Amanda, but I was in a client meeting and It went a lot longer than it should have.
That's all right. Well, we're talking about oh,
I was just gonna say I'm trying to hit the cheering button, but it's not playing.
Yeah.
That would have been pretty funny if
that's all right. It would have
So
been.
Sure,
nobody wants to cheer for me. That's okay.
Yay! I'll cheer for you, Sean. Anyway, we're just talking about like conferences being back in person. Oh, there you go.
Woo! I
Mike's got the confetti. Yeah, we're just talking about conferences being back in person and how they seem to be like maybe it's just FITC, but the topics look interesting, but I don't know how relevant they're going to be to like specifically my interests, which is niche and isn't like admittedly is not very broad, but yeah, it's I like the conferences are in person.
Yeah, me too.
But we'll see how it goes.
I think FITC is more of a generalist conference. It's like kind of trying to hit for everybody. If you were looking at something specific, say you were going to a React conference or a Craft CMS conference or WordPress, then it'd probably be a lot more relevant content.
Probably, yeah. And so that was something else I wanted to talk about with FITC coming up. And it's like I've started looking again at networking groups to see if they're starting to like meet up in person because they, some of them have tried to do virtual events for the last however many years. And I don't seem to be able to like find that niche that works for me. Like either it's a group that is so out of date that it's like, click here to join our Slack and then just like nothing about it works. Or I like sign up for the group and within a day I get like 6 emails and it's like, well, that's ridiculous and unattainable. Like I don't want to be bothered that much.
Yeah. Even before COVID, I had joined a couple of networking groups and I just got icky feelings from them. It's just like everybody's like there and I didn't feel like there was anything for me unless I came off as a used car salesman. And it's just not me.
Yeah, I find a lot of them, people in those groups are trying to sell something or sell themselves or whatever. Yeah, that's
I did find that too.
And it's like hard sales too. Like,
yeah.
Hi, the only reason I want to talk to, I'm not really interested in that. Oh, I got to move on now. It's like, they don't even try to get to know you. It's not like, I feel like if you want to sell somebody, you shouldn't be doing it on the first meeting. It should be like, hey, you joined this group. What do you do? Let's learn a little bit about you. After 2 or 3 meetings, now I'm going to try and sell you.
Yeah. Well, I found that, it felt like a lot of marketing people that were trying to be like, oh, like what company do you work for? Because maybe they could use our marketing services. And it's just like, as soon as I told them that I like worked for myself, they'd be like, oh, and just take off. And it always seemed very disingenuous, waste of time.
I'm looking for a long-term relationship, not a one-night stand.
Is that your impression of what they're thinking or what you're thinking?
No, that's what Sean's thinking.
Yeah,
Sean wants to find a friend. He doesn't want to be used.
Don't use me for one night.
Okay, got it.
Ick. I just got super icks right there.
Sorry,
So when you
direction.
Sean, when you were looking at these networking groups, like how did you just do a Google search? Did you go to meetup.com? Like
There's Meetup.
Okay. That's what I was looking at too.
Yeah.
So, and this was before COVID, so I guess that's 4 years ago now, or 5 years, whatever, a long time. So
yeah,
I'm sure it, as you said, it's changed and groups are there but not as active or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, even for the longest time, Sean, you had started an Expression Engine meetup group here in Toronto, and it was popular for a little bit. And then we'd have people like Brian Ireland show up sometimes as a guest, and they'd fill up with like 20 people. And then it sort of petered out a bit, and we turned it into, hey, just anything. It doesn't have to be Expression Engine, any web development thing. Anyone wants to come out, come on out. And it's basically the 3 of us that just hang out all the time now. That's all.
We did have one other guy. If you remember Chris, he came out for a while, and he kind of just faded away. And so it's just the 3 of us, and occasionally somebody from our our Slack group will come, but everybody else in the Slack group is not really close to Toronto either, so
Yeah.
it's a bit of a drive out.
Yeah. Oh well, I guess that happens.
Oh, hey,
We should get together for drinks again sometime soon.
Yes, we should.
we should, but hold on, wait. First of all, Paolo says hi. We have a viewer.
Oh,
Nice.
hi.
I'm so excited.
I speaking of our Slack group and stuff, I recently tried this. So our friend Kevin, who was on the show recently, shared an AI powered thing for Figma. So Figma is this design sort of Photoshop-y like tool, and you can plug in this thing and point it at one of your mock-ups or whatever in Figma, press a button, it will, well, I'll tell you what, I'll share my screen because I tried it out after he shared this thing. We'll see how this goes. Screen. Sorry, I'm new to all this computer stuff.
So, but to finish your sentence, it takes a Figma design and it writes the code.
It sort of does its best, and you can tell it what kind of code you want to use. And I was able to put in like Tailwind and stuff like that. It spits out this code. So this is a little kind of component that I was designing recently, and I thought, okay, why don't I see what it does with that? So this is in the app itself. It's not in Figma, but it came from Figma. So it's pretty straightforward, right? And then it generates this code at the bottom. But when I actually looked at the code in a rendered page, now I got to share another damn window. Hold on. Here we go. There. This is the result. And it's like, what?
To me, it looks like you don't have Tailwind CSS. You don't have a CSS
but it's supposed to be
file
It's supposed to be including all that stuff. And not only that, if I look at this image,
because that looks
this is the image of the little boy there. It's what?
It looks unstyled, like the final page.
Look at this image closely. Like, there's like a white. They haven't trimmed it properly, and there's a rounded corner on the bottom left. But the app has put it. It hard coded it into the image. I would expect that to be a border radius, implementation. So there's things like that it does, and I'm kind of like, I don't think this is quite where it needs to be. So I haven't.
Well, I think it's not where it needs to be, and this is what we all need to keep in mind: is that these are tools. They're tools and references and resources, and they're not going to take over the job, but they're to help and to assist, and maybe get us started moving in the right direction.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I was saying
if
to
this
Kevin,
is their first version, I'm sure that a newer version will have a better implementation as it learns.
I don't even care that it does all the work for me. I was kind of like hoping for, all right, here's an awesome starting point, and then I go in and tweak because it's just giving you code. I will go in anyway to put in real content and whatnot. So I'm happy to make some things here and there, adjustments here and there, but like, I don't know. It's not even that far enough. It's kind of seems to be taking a picture of my mock-up and spitting it out. It's almost the table-based thing that we talked about in the recent episode, where it's like taking it and cutting it up and just here's a bunch of images of what you just showed me and put them on the site. But that's not how I do it. Anyway, but it's cool. It's cool that stuff is becoming available more and more before it takes our jobs completely.
I just need 10 more years. 10 more years. Then I'm going to retire.
10 years? I feel like 10 years might be a bit of a stretch to hope for. I would like 10 years too, but I don't know.
Well, 10 years and then I'm going to be retired and not
you gotta
living
embrace,
in Toronto.
You got to embrace the technology.
Yes.
You got to work with it instead of fighting against it.
I couldn't agree more. And I'm not one of these jobs.
But I want to be John Connor fighting Skynet.
Yeah.
You can be.
Concern.
Yeah. In your retirement, that is your goal.
Hey man, Arnold Schwarzenegger can play the Terminator when he's like 65 or 70. Why can't I be?
You are not Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I didn't say I was Schwarzenegger. I said I was John Connor. There's a difference. I mean, it's still
true.
a stretch.
It's still a stretch.
Oh man, that's awesome. Anything else? Should we wrap it up, or talk about something else?
I'm good.
I'm good too. And Sorry for being late.
Happens.
Yeah.
Life. No worries.
Don't let it happen again. I'm kidding. I don't care.
You fire me.
All right. Awesome. Bye, friends.
Thanks for watching. Bye.